stock market is a complex ecosystem with investors and traders constantly making and losing money. We'll go over the basics of how the market works so that you can get started investing in it with confidence. Nerd Stock Talk is delighted to present to you this fun and informative series entitled From Azeroth to Wall Street, Mastering the Stock Market Like the Class of Your Choice. We are going to compare how well a class performs in DPS and parallel it to how strong a portfolio is and its investment risk. Low risk, low DPS. High risk, high DPS. High DPS without mitigation and utility can also get you killed. All high-risk investments without education and balancing can get you broke. The Fury Warrior spec is one of the most popular in World of Warcraft. It's considered a burst spec, which means it excels at dealing very high amounts of damage in short periods of time. With a good amount of single target damage, this spec can be used well in any situation where you need to deal high amounts of damage quickly. The burst capabilities make this build shine in Mythic Plus dungeons as well as against magic damage heavy bosses. How can you invest like a Fury Warrior? The strengths of the Fury Warrior include burst damage, AoE, and melee DPS. Burst damage. The Fury Warrior is the best single target damage spec in the game by a large margin. They have tremendous burst and can put out some of the highest numbers you'll see on any appropriately geared character. The Fury Warrior also has a lot of AoE, particularly with its multi-targeted abilities like Whirlwind and Bladestorm. This makes them one of the best specs for dungeon runs, as well as just about any group content where adds need to be killed quickly or there are multiple targets that need to be hit at once. The high burst damage is the investment equivalent to high risk investments. Much like burst damage where you can do a high amount of DPS in a short time, the benefits of high risk investments can earn huge returns in a very short period of time. But the fluctuations of high risk investments are very volatile and unpredictable in nature as compared to other investment instruments. This is the same as the unpredictability of pulling aggro from a tank. Great AoE. In World of Warcraft, AoE can be used to describe area of effect abilities. Area of effect is a term used in video games to describe attacks or abilities that affect a large area. The number of targets an ability can affect is called its radius, and the distance between each target and the point where they are all affected is called spread. Fury Warriors have amazing sustained and powerful AoE skills such as Dragon Roar, Bladestorm, and Whirlwind. With AoE, you're able to spread out your damage, mitigating any risk of pulling threat from the enemy in a raid or dungeon. This is the investment equivalent of putting money in balanced mutual funds. Diversification is another great benefit of mutual funds. When you invest in a single stock, you're taking on all the risk associated with that company. If something happens to the company, a scandal, market shifts, or competition from new technology, it could negatively impact your investment and leave you out of luck. But when you diversify your portfolio by investing in a variety of assets and sectors, this risk is greatly reduced. Mutual funds are composed of different types of securities, stocks, bonds, and cash, that can be broadly classified into three categories: equity funds, which are the stocks, debt funds, which are the bonds, and money market funds, which are the cash. So money market funds, these provide income through short-term investments in high-quality debt and money market securities like treasury bills while maintaining liquidity. These are not overly aggressive and safe in the long run, much like the survivability of a Fury Warrior. Melee DPS. Like their Arms Warrior cousins, Fury Warriors are also a melee DPS. Being a melee DPS puts you right up close to the action. Melee DPS are most effective when positioned behind the boss or an ad to avoid having to dodge attacks. However, they can still do significant damage in this position as long as they stay out of the other player's ranges. Because melee is right next to the action, this is the investment equivalent of doing self-directed investing. The pros of self-directed investing are: you control the fund and money, you decide which investments to make. You can invest in things you're passionate about. You can invest in companies you want to support. And you can invest in things you know a lot about. Much like up-close DPS and standing in the enemy's hitbox, the cons of self-investing means that you take on all the risk. If something goes wrong with an investment, it's all on you. There is no one else to blame if things go south. Fury Warriors are extremely powerful melee DPS and have excellent and sustained AoE when it is needed. The Fury Warrior is a high utility and powerful melee DPS class and can dish out impressive damage while also providing enough personal defenses to survive most clashes. This class is great for players who want to be able to perform well in solo questing, dungeons, and raids. So how do you invest like a Fury Warrior? Fury Warriors are melee DPS who have burst and AoE damage. This means you would invest in high-risk defense sector stocks along with both ETFs and mutual funds. Much like melee, finding good ones would entail doing homework so you avoid getting one-shotted or getting caught standing in the fire. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn more, check out Nerdstock Talk at storycomic.com. There you can find even more resources and information to help you learn the basics of investing through the lens of your favorite class or archetype. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post new videos.